did say though,
All right, we're on. Ready to
Yeah,
start?
I think so. As soon as Donnie, I think Donnie's doing some business there, so.
Yeah, sorry about that. We had our tower, a little minor issue, so we were getting that straight with the PLC guy. I was trying to get Tom's name of the water gauge, but he took off quick.
Well, Donnie, give us an update on
That's
the,
okay.
on the 9th Street pump. That's the.
Yeah, I did all right, update on 9th Street Pump Station. Friday, I talked to Megan at Bayland, and they had been waiting on their electrical contractor to get back to them, but they did get it back Wednesday. And now they're reviewing his comment electrical, like the 208 voltage and whatever the panel stuff he had to review. They're putting that together, and they said about a week and a half, they should have a draft plan for us to review. They're showing, as we thought, and we spec 2 flight submersible pumps. They're a little bit smaller than the 5th Street. They're 7.5 horsepower. But what I'd like to add to that part is they're 1,200 gallons a minute. And the diesel pump, the Orange Godwin pump that's out there now that Alana was listening to all night, Saturday night and Sunday, that's estimated flow is 1,200 gallons a minute. So we'll be getting pretty much like 2 of those orange pumps sitting there in the ground, submersible electric pumps. As long as we don't lose power, we'll double our pumping capacity. So to me, this weekend was a good test for that, saying that size-wise, if we get the rain we had, the submersibles, the new design should keep up with it. Hopefully they'll get back, like I say, in 2 weeks, week and a half to 2 weeks, they'll have a draft. We'll review that pretty quickly, get it back to them for a final drawing that we can have a drawing, a set of specs to look at to create an RFP with it. So that could be as quick as 3 weeks to a month. I think we'll have that out, hopefully.
Donnie, is that in the same box at 9th and Atlantic, or is it an additional box somewhere
Yeah,
else?
that would be using the same pit. It would be gutting out the old pumps, the old pipe, and replacing it with new piping. And the only thing different would be the discharge would come out. It wouldn't be under the road and going into an existing vault where it has to fight the sand to gravity out to the bay. It will be coming up and right over the seawall there where you could see what the pumps are doing. So that the pumps will be the same, the discharge line's coming up, but they'll be coming over towards the seawall under the road. And when they get to the concrete seawall, that's where it'll 90 up in the air and it'll be shooting over the seawall where we can see it to make sure and kind of see what it's doing pump-wise capacity.
And the electrical, is that big enough to have both pumps running during a Hail Mary?
That's what the electrical contractor for Bayland was looking at. He came down, took pictures of the service that we have and took pictures. We got plenty of breakers in the box, and it's 3-phase now. So there'll probably be new starters and everything, but I'm pretty sure we won't have to change the service. I'm hoping the service from BG&E is big enough. There are 5 horsepowers in there now, so I'm pretty sure it is, because if just the dealing with BG in the past, it takes them so long and it's an act of God. So I'm hoping that we can accomplish with what power we have there now, so we won't have to upgrade the incoming power, which I think we will be good, but I'm not 100% sure. But that's what they were looking at, and like I said, I should know something on that in a week and a half, I think.
I guess there's room in there, Donnie, for 2
Yeah.
pumps, or are they gonna
Yeah,
have to
it's
do
plenty
anything?
of room in there. It's a standard, 6-foot diameter wet well, so it's pretty standard size. Those pumps, the guy from Flight came down and we took pictures, looked at it, measured everything before we even picked the pump itself, that he spec'd for it.
Is it the same deal as on 5th Street, where you just set them down?
Yeah, pretty much.
And how do you get them out if you have to service them?
The same way you'd see us when we get down with the backhoe and a chain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and pull them right out. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Cool.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing in there now, just a little bit larger. But the problem with the pumps in there now is they've been in there since probably 2002, I believe it was. And they pump so much sand. And I got some numbers for you on 5th Street. I'll tell you them in a second here. but it's just pumped so much sand, it's wore out the piping system more than the pump system, and it doesn't seal correctly. So the pump's running and they pump so many hours and pump so much sand and stuff that they're actually probably only putting out a third of what they should be putting out, just because of they're not sealing correctly, and you're recycling flow into wet well. So it's just going in a circle. When the pump's running, a third of it's going out the discharge line and 2/3 of it's spinning around and staying in the wet well. So it's recycling more than it's pumping. So that's why we went with new pumps, but also new piping all the way up and out. So it'll be all new piping there.
Hey, Donnie, do you have a drawing that you could share at some point, just so we kind of can get a
Yeah,
visual?
in a week and a half, they sent me like a real rough sketch, but it wasn't much. But
Okay,
as soon as they send it, I'll send it to
okay,
Dave, and committee members can take a look at it.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Actually, I
too,
have one now, but it's hard to see. I can send you a 3-page little sketch.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, she
It's
sent
just
me,
good
but
for
I don't-
context to be able to see it,
Yeah.
on one piece of
it'd be
paper.
better probably if she waits, if we wait.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Donnie, don't you think when we get the RFP out, we should probably do some sort of announcement within the community, let them know that the town is moving ahead on this project, like
I think as soon as we get the draft, as soon as we get the final plan back, we can even announce it then that, we received a final plan for Bayland. Council's prepared to advertise this for RFP, blah, 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 sooner the better. So as soon as we get it, yeah, we can do it.
Okay.
Are
Yep.
they going
And
to
then
rec-
hopefully, depending on how that looks, we're gonna move right to 9th Street and to start design, 7th Street, I'm sorry.
7th Street.
Yeah.
Are they going to recommend a more wear-resistant piping system?
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
Are they going to recommend a more robust piping system?
On the 9th Street one or the 7th Street?
Well, on either of them, if the sand, like is
Yeah,
this,
the sand's wearing it out, but it's we're probably gonna go with Schedule 80 pipe. But the only problem with Schedule 80 pipe, like if something hits it or you get shocked, it doesn't have the strength that ductile iron pipe has.
right?
But they've been in there a while and they've pumped a lot of sand. So it's almost like pumping sandpaper through there. You know what I mean? So it's there'll be ceramic impellers on the pump itself. I'm going to see the drawing. I recommended Schedule 80 PVC piping because it might hold up better. But when you get that sand in there, I'm waiting to see what they come up with. And that's a good point to bring up before we do a final. If they have something maybe coated, that's better than either one of those, maybe.
Yep.
But that's a good point to bring up to make sure to look at that. They might have something. I know they have the impellers now. They make a ceramic, make a stainless steel, but they also make one that's got ceramic coating on it. And we try to use those because they hold up better to abrasion than anything so far. So the impeller will be on the pump itself.
Won't there be less sand in the system with this new design though?
Probably not, because coming over the seawall, that's where we're getting most, like when you get to wave action and like when we're cleaning the street down there, that's where like the sand grit is coming off the street, mainly from what's coming over the seawall.
Yeah.
Rainwater wouldn't be a problem at all, but when we get that tide and wave action, like y'all know, because you see it firsthand more than I do even, you're getting,
Unfortunately, yeah.
right. Right.
Okay.
Yep. But like I say, hopefully that'd be ready to go very shortly here. I'd like to get it out, January, have that thing advertised, and then be getting something back, and the weather warms up a little bit in March, April start on it.
Is the money in the town budget to do the
Yeah.
job?
We have 125,000 minus the engineering, which I think that was around 30,000. So we do have some money in there, yes. It's roughly 100,000 in the budget right now. And we do have a pretty good amount in for 7th Street. So, if we get bids in and something happens, I don't want to speak for the mayor and council, but we could transfer some and do design of 7th. And then, we need to get 9th completed first. So we've got quite a bit in there for 7th Street in case we run into and we also always have a very good line to Senator Jackson. So when we get the costs, then we can always hit them up. dependent. I've got an estimate on the pumps themselves of like 30, I think it was 32,000 or something like that, but I don't want to give you a wrong number off the top of my head.
All right. Hey, Donnie, you want to talk a little bit about how awesome Fifth Street was?
I do want to talk about both. Like I said a little bit earlier, we put the diesel pump down there as a test, to confirm kind of. We did it 2 or 3 times now, and every time it's did pretty well. And that thing is rated at 1,200 gallons a minute. So with the 3 inches of rain, like Bob said, 3.5 almost inches of rain we didn't have any flooding in 9th Street. So I mean, that to me tells, and the committee's been there long enough to know now, and they live there and see it every time it happens. If we don't have any wave action and we don't have the tidal problem at 9th Street, I think the 1,200 gallons a minute per pump would be more than capable of handling any kind of rainstorm, because it came down pretty quick. I talked to Lauren earlier, and she said it was, pouring down at times, so we didn't have any problem. Down at 5th Street, we worked out a couple of, every time you start up a new station, got a couple bugs. I think we got everything ironed out, because we did have some flooding once or twice there. But this time, with that amount of rain, it went to high level because it calls me on my phone. But within a half hour, it called me back and said level normal. So that meant, what that means is the pump saw at high level, it kicked up to 100%. All 3 pumps kicked on, and it caught back up and pumped back down within a half hour to a normal level. So we didn't have any flooding at 5th Street or 9th Street with 3 inches of rain. So I feel pretty good about that. The pump totals from Friday to Monday, because we didn't have to come out. The 2 big pumps, the new ones that we put in at 5th Street, ran 13.5 hours each. So 27 hours total. And the smaller pump, it's kind of like used for when we hit that high level, only ran 7.7, which is some hours. But the total volume of water that those pumps move was close to 4.9, almost 5 million gallons of water
Wow.
that those pumps put out, just to give you a little idea.
5 million gallons.
5 million gallons. 13 hours a piece. Well, say 27 hours for the 2 new pumps was 4.5 million gallons. So that just tells you that 3.5 inches of rain over that territory, how much rainwater we getting that. And that didn't count. We didn't have a diesel pump. I didn't get the readings for the hours on the diesel, but the diesel did kick in and ran too at 5th Street.
So probably more than 5.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, are you going to report that out? That's an interesting fact on Thursday at the council meeting. Be nice.
We need to highlight that kind of. That might be my 2-minute talk.
Yeah.
Can I ask you to rehearse
that? That was a pretty good
talk?
test, I think, and thank you, Bob, for putting your bucket out there, because that's good. We got about 2.9 at the gauge here that I was talking to Tom about earlier, so we're pretty close in the ballpark between
2 3/4 at my place.
Yeah, so I'd say between right around 3 inches average of rain. So that's a pretty good event, and it came down pretty quickly too. It wasn't like all day.
It was quick.
Yeah, so it lasted for a long time, but at times it came pretty quick. So
did you have a question, Tom?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Donnie, jokingly, if you could give me another version of that tomorrow when I'll be in town, I'll try to convert it into grant application language. I was listening, but I wasn't really absorbing it all at the moment. So I'll just chase you down for 2 minutes tomorrow, and we'll do jokingly a dress rehearsal, what you're going to present to the council.
Sounds good.
Is that all right? Thanks.
Yeah, I just do my monthly report, and also we have a, I'm gonna give them, how well the 5th Street did. So
great.
Yeah.
All
Are
right.
we ever gonna get our little sign on 5th Street, or have I just missed it?
It is little.
It is little. It's very little.
It's there.
It is.
It's there, but it is
Yeah.
little. But
Where
it's
is it?
that didn't say it couldn't be changed. So I think it was sent out, and Dawn
It's
did
right on the
reading.
pump. It's on
Yeah,
the,
but
I mean,
it's-
not on the pump. It's on the panel or the electrical panel, right?
Yeah, where the disconnects are. If you look where the disconnects are coming up, it's right mounted to the Kindorf. They call it, the metal rod that the disconnects are mounted on. We mounted it right to that just because it was easy, but you can't.
Okay.
It's not in the best visible spot. I agree with you. But we had some concern about whether we were pumping raw sewage right in the bay, so we want to make sure they know it's stormwater, but.
Right. Well, we weren't concerned about that, but we had
Right.
heard that people were concerned.
Right.
So we wanted to make sure folks knew that it was, flood water,
Yeah.
storm water.
Well, that's not really the best place to put a sign that says this is stormwater that's coming out, right?
Where would you put it?
No comment.
We talked about this.
I thought we did. I mean, maybe I'm beating a dead horse. I thought we were gonna put it on the, somewhere on the boardwalk.
Yeah,
On
we
the pier.
Yeah, I know. I know we talked about that, but and I thought that was a good idea, but I thought we got outvoted on that. I think folks that thought it'd be
Oh.
better on the pump, on the panel,
Okay.
whatever it's called.
I remember a conversation, but I don't remember exactly what happened, to be honest. But that was talked about, like, from looking at the boardwalk, because most people stop and look over there from that direction at the pump system.
We should have a sign that says, if the water's black, it's not oil.
Right,
That's the sign we should have.
right. Because we did have a comment that came in on Facebook or something. I don't really look at Facebook that much, but it was like, you're pumping oil right into the bay. So
But you explained that that's because periodically, Donnie, right, we need to clean out the
well, we were troubleshooting that day. Yeah, we were actually troubleshooting that day. So we sucked down the pit as far as it would go. So whatever remaining crap that's in the bottom there
yeah,
happened to come out at that time. And then that's
Yeah.
why we had the rock containment area right there. So it catches anything that comes out, and we can dredge that back out on the beach and
Right.
dry it out. And when it dries out, it just looks like dark sand.
right.
When it's pumping out, it looks a little different. It does, have because it's been in the pipe laying there for who knows how long. So it tends to turn black,
Right.
lack of oxygen. But if you put it out on the beach, let it dry out, flip it over, it looks like, dirty sand.
And yeah.
So perception wise, but the sign that was made up, it'd be hard to see from the boardwalk. And I don't know if people would get confused if you posted it right on the boardwalk. So I don't.
I mean, it could be done if we feel like it's, something we
Yeah,
want to
I'm
spend
not-
money on, but, we could have like an image of what they're looking at, like a graphic image, and say, this thing you're looking at, this discharge, this is what it's doing. It could be like an explanation. It could even be a paragraph, like we have other signs on the boardwalk about horseshoe crabs, right? So it could be, this is,
We just-
part of our compound flood action plan, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we could always do that.
We just didn't know how close we wanted to put it to the swimming area sign.
Oh, well,
Just
I
kidding.
mean, I don't know about it, I think information for people is good. People are always gonna have questions, but it would make, if we thought it's something we wanted to do, we all walk down the boardwalk, and sometimes you look over and you see that pumping out water, and we all know what it is, but other people probably,
Right.
some people probably don't.
Right.
And maybe it's a way to tout kind of, what we're doing and
Right.
what, anyway. What's next, Tom?
Yeah, what's next? I know 9th Street was on there. Dave, you had something,
No, the only thing we had to talk about today was 9th Street and where we are with the grant applications. It's gonna be
Cool.
shorty today.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. And there, like I said, we went over the budget with the mayor yesterday, and he's like, get on 7th Street. So as soon as we get 9th, 7th will be next, the way he was talking yesterday. So that's good news.
Well, you all were going over
Capital project.
capital
budget.
project status
Right.
expenditures, right? So
Yeah.
which is good. We want to make sure that the funds that are in the budget for this fiscal year for certain projects are spent to the extent possible. So,
Another thing, new business, or I'll bring up real quick, not to hold you up, but we also had money in there for the rock. And I know Tom's been working on it as part of the grant, right? From Hatch's Corner to 7th Street, that area
Yeah.
that doesn't have as much rock as the rest, from there north has. So that's an item that I'd like to get it. I know we'll have to get a permit from MDE, or I checked today actually to see if we do have to get one. And I'm waiting on a call back, but try to get that started also. Just getting some rock
much-
in there. And that's more for like wave action, beating up that section of boardwalk right there to protect. Because we do have a sewer line that serves those houses along from 7th, heading south to 5th Street where the boardwalk turns, to protect the railing, the
Right.
infrastructure and everything else in that area. So
how much do we have in the budget for that? Do you
I think
remember?
it's quite a bit. I think it's like $450 ARPA money.
Yeah, it's ARPA money. Yeah,
Yeah, but it's 400,000. I'm sorry.
that'd be good. That'd be
Yeah,
good to
so at
get that
least
done.
get engineer, on board or get somebody on board to see what we need to do to be able to get that moving. So
We have to spend the ARPA money by the end of
24, right?
24.
I think so.
So can I
Yeah.
don't know if
County
we're
only-
going off.
Go ahead,
Oh, sorry.
Carol.
Well, I know it's supposed to be Tom's supposed to be doing the
Oh.
update, but just on the Hatches Corner to 7th Street conversation, because actually a resident asked me about this. Why would that section be a priority over the 2 blocks to the north? Because that section, we've had damage to the boardwalk, but we don't have a lot of residential damage, but the 2 blocks to the north on Atlantic have had a lot of damage to residences. So what gives that 1 block priority over the other 2? And I'm just saying, just
I've
because
never
I've been asked,
seen
I was
any-
asked that question.
Yeah,
And I
I've
didn't know how to answer it.
I mean, I know water has been up to the garages and until last week, or that storm, not last week, but whenever, Lauren, it was. Then we
Yeah,
had the
that
high
last
tide.
big
I
one.
don't think we had any damage along from 7th Street North. Alana,
Right.
had. I mean, we have, when we
mean,
had
a lot-
the storm a couple years ago.
Right. There's
Yeah.
some like garage damage, but Donnie, I think the key point is that there's a sewer line there.
Well, it's a sewer line there and we've replaced, it cost us almost, I'm trying to remember, to replace that boardwalk and the flower beds and everything in front of those homes there. We did that
Right.
2 or 3 times now. So the town has spent through, luckily we had insurance for some of that.
Yeah, not
We had to
much.
redo that boardwalk, redo the whole railing there and redo, it's a sewer line, like say there, infrastructure under there that we're kind of
Okay.
worried about.
Right, like
Yeah, I
you
mean, it's
told
good
me,
to
like
know,
if
but-
that sewer line was damaged, that would be a major,
Yeah.
major
Okay.
problem.
So I just think that's important for like
Yeah.
when we're communicating that, because you do have residences that have been damaged that also have
Yeah.
revetment area. Like I said,
Yeah,
just
they-
to,
and
for,
you
you
can
know,
tell them, Carol, that, at least, the area from 7th Street North already has some rock revetment in front of it. You know what I mean? It has at least 10
Right.
or so feet in front of it where,
yeah, well, that's kind of what I said.
yeah, that area where the boardwalk has none. You know what I mean? So, and
Right.
you have a 40-foot wide buffer with the street there where the boardwalk's only like 16 feet wide there. And that's all you have before it's right at the residence.
That's good to know. Okay.
And like I
thank
say,
you.
mainly is the infrastructure underneath the boardwalk there is a big priority. Because if we lose that sewer line, the cost of replacing it where it's at is almost impossible to do right there. Because the boardwalk's on top of it, you can't get to it from the road, you don't have any access points to it.
Yeah, so that's a really important talking point. That's good catch there, Carola. Just to remember to highlight that when we talk about why that's a priority.
Donnie, how far is 400 grand gonna go for rock that has to be brought in by barge?
That's a good question. I think I got that number and I'm trying to remember, but I talked to Disson in June, who's a contractor who does a lot of shoreline work, here and across they're based out of Cambridge. And I'm pretty sure I got that like a linear foot price from him, like to bring a barge in to do it, like how much it would be per foot. And we came up with 400,000 because of the length of that and going out 10 feet. And, we estimated 400 grand might get you 10 feet of revetment in that area.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, they just, Crandall is another local guy, and they just finished doing a rock revetment job down at Breezy Point Beach, just south of us. And the Navy base there, that's why I want to get started and get an engineer, see what kind of permit we have to get before that, and then get a better cost estimate. But at least we could, probably get started well on our way with that.
Yeah, I've met that Crandall chap. He does a lot of that work.
Right,
He lives over in Huntingtown, actually.
right. That's
Nice.
Eddie, yeah, the son.
His dad did it before him, right?
Yeah, his dad's he's the one that did the, his dad's a bigger company, but Eddie, he's the one that lives in Huntingtown, and he used to work with his dad, and then he branched off, and he did work for the town and also all around the area.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
But his dad is the one contractor who built the original boardwalk for the town way back in when they did it. Yeah, they did the rock breakwaters and did a lot of work at Rod. He was the one that was doing, I don't know if you saw the barges in the creek at Rod and Reel. when they were doing
Mhm.
all the work over there, was doing a lot of that work over there too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're based right out of Galesville, the Edwin Crandall Senior, right up off of the right in Shady Oaks area there.
Muddy
off
Creek.
West River.
Yeah. Do you have a time frame in mind, Donnie, for,
I called today to try to get a price for an engineer. So I mean, engineering wise, I'm hoping we can start and be done. See what we need to do by January, because I'm pretty sure we have to send a plan up to MDE to apply for a permit for that. So we get it, but I don't know how detailed that plan has to be, and that's what I put a call in today to find out if they have to do soil borings, or for shoreline prevention, can you just do a drawing of, like, you know, the standard detail of the fabric underneath and a rock on top. But I don't, because if it's settling, I don't know if you have to do soil borings to see like how much weight that soil can take in that
Mm.
area.
Well, at least if it went into the summer, I mean, it doesn't really impact the beach,
Right.
which is good. It gives us more flexibility.
The hardest part's getting a permit out of MD, but for something, but that, I was told today on the phone that that's easier than going if you're working out in the water. Like shoreline's a little bit easier to get than putting the revetment out in the bay like they did for the breakwaters. But I'm not sure about that. And then that's all the interesting facts I had for today.
May I ask a question about the 7th Street pumping station?
Yes, sir.
Bob, go ahead, Bob. We're kind of on a tight timeline and we're a minute over, so.
We need,
still have to
Tom
hear-
hasn't done his
we have to hear
update
from
yet.
Tom.
Okay, so
So,
there's a question about needing private property for that station on 7th Street. Could we not put the pump house electrical enclosure on the bullnose area where the I don't want to say weeds, but with the tall feathery things?
Yeah, grass is that right? That's where it probably was the only spot that we have that wouldn't get wave action, wouldn't hit it. So that'll definitely be looked at there. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, the station would probably go right in the street, but then the control panel is where we need to get a little, and it might not be that big a chunk, but a little place to put the control panel. Yep.
yeah.
okay.
All right.
All right, Tom, go ahead.
All righty. Hey, quick question, since you all kind of headed there a little bit. Does the committee have some form of communications plan? I thought I saw it referenced one somewhere, but I haven't found it online. And I'm talking about the committee, not the town.
I thought we had something pulled together as part of the flood action plan. It may have been pulled together as part of phase 1. Do y'all remember that with
Yeah.
what's the name of the group who
That
did our
was a
framework?
team. Didn't you set up a Teams,
And
like a chat?
Yeah.
thing
Before
that's-
Bayland, EC, who was it?
EFC?
Yeah.
It
Okay.
EFC.
was on the website. It was on the
It's on the
website.
website too.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Carola, since you feel, anyway, can you just find me something, anything that you have? That's what you get for speaking up.
I may be able to find it right now. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, it's very possible. I just couldn't, maybe I missed it, but I'd like to use something, anything. I've already got the town writing their own for this, but thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, and
Um,
you got something from Dawn, right? Or she's working on something.
She's working on something, yeah.
Okay.
thank you. Yeah, it just happened to be, it was referenced in a grant somewhere, and I was kind of like, okay, if that exists, I can't find it. Yeah, the other was last week, we submitted to the Watershed Assistance Grant Program, phonetically horrible WAGPA. And that is mostly funded through Department of Natural Resources, but it is administered by the Chesapeake Bay Trust. That was due December 6th. We got it in on time. It ended up having some technical stuff that didn't really serve our best interest, which is too bad because the rest of our argument was good about putting best management practices at the Greenwood Avenue alley area and the Bay Avenue parking lot at 5th and Bay. I'm also currently working on another application to Department of Natural Resources. It goes to a different destination, which is called Outcome 3 through the Grants Gateway. I normally wouldn't apply for the same thing twice, but DNR suggested it. And I'm partly mentioning that because I don't want people to be confused. I don't normally want to write the same thing and then reword it. I'd rather go to the best source and shoot for that, but it may be that they have more money in one pot than another. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm glad they told us to apply to both. The hard part is for me writing it. It feels like I have to answer to two different masters at the same time, makes my questions harder to answer. But we're doing okay. I've got everybody's letters of support that's provided them. I've had some sketches done, and that one is due late Thursday. I'm hoping to be done with it by midday Thursday. So, Carola, since Lauren just reprieved you on that, do you have any time remaining to give this version one more edit? Not to put you on the.
Yeah, on the new one, yeah, I can take a look.
Give me a time that works for you so that I'm working off your deadline. And don't say today.
I'm pretty open between 4 o'clock and 4:30 today. No, I'm pretty open tomorrow. I'm
Okay.
open tomorrow.
And how's your Thursday morning? I know you're a morning person.
Thursday morning is, I'm available at the moment.
Okay. I'll check with you online, but since I had you here, I figured I'd ask. So yeah, we're in pretty good shape. It's like I said, it gets a little confusing because we're asking for the same 100,000 from two different sources. But I kind of leave that to the powers to be to go review the application, hopefully find it's competitive, and decide what pot of money it better suits. So that is to design.
I
and
just have to
engineer.
chime in because I just read through the narrative that Tom and Carola pulled together for the grant, and it's we'll send it around. Tom, I'll send it to the committee, but it's just a really like comprehensive, write up on, the town, how we're situated, the challenges we face, what we've done, why we want to do this take this next step, etc. It's really like you did a good job, Tom, kind of pulling everything together.
Thanks.
So it's a good read if you're like a flood committee nerd.
Yeah,
Well,
if you're
this
into
stuff
some
is
other
always
type of fiction, forget it. Yeah.
The stuff is always useful. You can always repurpose
Yeah,
it different
I
ways,
know.
know.
That's what I was
for-
thinking of, Dave. Like, oh
for the
yeah, talking
community.
points here, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
we send to Dawn for an email blast here, and
Yeah.
And to your credit, I definitely do pull from the old applications. I certainly don't need to rewrite things that are already
Good.
known and,
it's a
and
little
done.
easier, maybe.
Yeah, it's got a little more backing. It's just a matter of gleaning through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it went pretty well. So thank you to everybody who's done all the work in the past, because the fact that there's a committee and sort of monitoring things, that's what you'll be reading about in the next one. And then just to reinforce, these are for what are considered nature-based solutions, right? So I can't ask for revetment. I can't ask for stonework or, bigger pipes or pumps. That's a totally different conversation. DNR wants you to use nature to do its job to address stormwater. And this is not sea level rise, by the way, again. So that's why we're really just talking about 6th Street kind of area all the way back to Greenwood. We're not talking about the walls or anything like that.
about Greenwood and about the parking lot over here.
Parking lot,
Right?
right. So what I've tried to do in the language is, sort of picture that the water is obviously coming off the hills, hitting 5th and Greenwood, and then working its way through town. And so you're kind of looking at the westernmost spot, right, and the easternmost spot. And that's kind of my discussion, is you're kind of creating a little bit of a trail of understanding that the water is coming from way up there, not from that bay that just happens to be right there.
Yeah, and now that we've got data on just
Yeah.
how much water flows,
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
Yeah. So I tried to do that fast and furious. Hopefully that wasn't too fast or too furious, but any questions?
good.
coming out of it?
No, that's great. And then we don't really have time now. It's supposed to be a short meeting, but maybe our next meeting, Tom, we can talk a little bit about the other grants that you and I were kind of going back and forth on, maybe some potential other good grants coming up where we
Yeah,
can,
we've got some opportunities. Lauren
some other
had-
opportunities. Yeah.
include me and Lisa as well. We'll probably have a powwow. I'll be away for the last 2 weeks of December, so hopefully
Okay.
we'll get these in and catch our
Yeah.
breath. So,
Cool.
yeah,
Sounds great. Thanks, Tom. Good
Sure.
job. And
Thank you.
Carola. It's a lot.
thanks.
Tom, I sent you a letter just to double check.
Super. Thank you, Alana. I'll
Okay.
check.
Yeah,
Thanks, Alana.
well,
I just want to wish you guys a happy holidays, and this is Lisa, and I will try to attend that December 19th. Green Street.
right.
Green
Oh,
trees,
good.
green
I forgot.
roads,
Yeah, that
green
information
towns.
session. Right.
Yes, I will
I'm
try to
gonna
attend
do that
that and give a
too.
report for you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Lisa.
thanks, Lisa.
All right.
Sounds good.
Great. Have a great holiday, everybody.
Yeah, everybody,
Happy
Merry
holiday.
Christmas and all that stuff.
Christmas,
Merry
Happy New Year.
Christmas and everything else.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Got another
Thanks,
rain
everybody.
zone coming.